Breaking news tonight, Washington governor and 2020 candidate Jay Inslee has just confirmed to The Beat that he is backing a state bill that would actually result, if passed, in kicking Donald Trump off the ballot in his own state unless he releases his tax returns. Governor Inslee's team saying he's supportive of this new bill, and this is not a theoretical. I'm joined now exclusively by the sponsor of the bill, Washington State Senator Patty Kuderer. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
I know we got you hooked up here, basically, I think, initially through Skype, because this is important. You just had progress in getting this partly passed, and now tonight, what is your reaction to this news that Governor Inslee is on board?
Well, I'm very happy about it. It'll make it easier to get it through the House, so it's good news.
What would your bill do?
Well, the bill would require president and vice presidential candidates to release the last 5 years that they filed of their tax returns. And remember, this has been information that we've had for the last 40 years. The candidates have voluntarily provided that for us. A lot of us use that, many of us use that in vetting our candidates. And it's vital information now in knowing what are the connections that these candidates have. Now, remember, president is very different from other elected offices. I mean, this is the office with your finger on the button. This is the office that does trade agreements with foreign countries. You know, this is the office that commands a military. I think it's important for us to have that information so that we know exactly who we're voting for.
So if this passes the other house in Washington State, it would go to Governor Jay Inslee, who's now said tonight he'll support it. That means unless a court intervened, any candidate in the general election who didn't release their tax returns would automatically be removed from the ballot. So if Donald Trump continues the way he ran last time, that would apply to him. What if Senator Sanders or someone else is running and doesn't comply enough with this bill? Do they also get kicked off the Washington ballot? Could you have a situation where multiple candidates aren't voted on in Washington State?
Of course, but I mean, not voted on the ballot. You do remember we still have write-in capability. Lisa Murkowski won in Alaska like that. So it's not like you couldn't vote for that person if they weren't on the ballot. But yeah, I mean, they wouldn't physically be on the ballot if they don't provide their tax returns.
It's a
and
very
this really isn't. Yeah, this isn't a Democratic or Republican issue, Ari. You know, this is really an American issue. This is a national dialogue that's going on around the country. We have 26 states that are looking at doing this. And I'm very proud of the fact that we've introduced this legislation and that it's moving forward. It shows that Washington continues to be a leader in election reform. You know, I mean, it just builds on what we did last year with expanding access to democracy, same-day voter registration, automatic voter registration. You know, we have pre-registration.
One more question, which is, if Jay Inslee is the nominee and stands to benefit from this, is there an argument he should actually recuse himself from signing the bill?
Well, I don't know how you benefit from it. If you're a candidate for president, and this is our law, you either comply with the law or you don't. And for those who decide to comply,
I just mean if he ended up running against Trump.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, he happens to be the governor of our state, and I think he's doing an excellent job. And, you know, he's looking at the legislation not just for 2020, he's looking at it going into the future. And this is going to set a precedent, I hope, for other states to follow suit, because we can't exactly expect Congress, apparently, to act on this. And like I said, this breaks 40 years of tradition where we've had this information and come to rely on it.
Washington State Senator Patty Kuderer with a bill that's making some news. Thank you. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.